everybody, welcome back. It is Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name's Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Gladwell.
Hopefully this will be a much cheerier one this time around. Geez, I'm really sorry about all the tissues, guys.
it had, like, we just learned about it, so
right.
it was
I think
not,
that's why it was so bad for me. It was fresh.
Yeah.
That was fresh that day.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna be a wreck, aren't I?
Still extremely raw. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it still is, but
yeah.
That was hard.
That sucked. Plain and simple.
I struggled to talk too, so I was like, all right, I gotta force myself to say something to bail Jared out.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you definitely picked me up on that one. I was
not going well on anybody's end here.
No, it was not. But more Festivus occasion. Haha.
Yeah.
Let's drink.
Fuck yeah. Just thought you'd
Obviously,
never ask.
You want to find us wherever your favorite podcasts, rate, review, all that stuff. We'd love to hear from you. And like Ben said the other week, let us know how you found us.
Yeah. Where did you find us?
Yeah, where'd you dig us up? I want to know where the hell you found us, because you were looking in the wrong spot.
Especially the ones who we see every so often, a mass download from one location and be like, all right,
right.
What you listen to, what you like.
Somebody hears and sometimes if you subscribe to a podcast, having heard of it, like if you hit subscribe, if you have the room on your device, all of them go. Like, that was a bad choice.
Yeah, not quite that.
This is not what I meant to do.
I'll take the downloads, but
yeah, thanks for the boost.
Yeah.
Oh man. Always check out our buddy the Fantasy Rugby Geek George. Especially after a weekend like last weekend where we were looking at 2 cancellations. That sucked. Talk about things that sucked.
He had himself a hell of a week too. So
yeah, he had a good choice on TRM there.
And I think he won FRD in the
Did he finally win in Prem? Jeez,
I think he did.
We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Check it out. Yeah.
But yeah, buy him a coffee, buy him a beer. Man's deserving of it. Speaking of TRM, make sure you grab your upgrades. The RPA are benefiting from TRM upgrades now, and it's really cool to see guys like Ethan Waller on there. I love seeing that. Who else was on there? Lambert was on there. I was like, that's really cool. Like this is the type of stuff that can help propel this type of thing forward. In the grand scheme of things, rugby is still very small, but this is something that can help, because people are fancy. You and I talked about it when we were talking with Sam. Like, people are fancy nuts here. So let's keep it going.
It's a big thing if you can get into it here, and that's a big thing to have player interaction too on all formats. I was thinking about that, not just related to that. So we're talking about props here, right? Ethan Waller doing the fantasy, Jamal Ford Robinson constantly on Twitter, constantly posting just fun stuff. Like, here's why it's fun to be a rugby player. And like, even he'll make fun of himself with the whole, the Gloucester winning in the Champions Cup, and he's like kind of walking while everybody else is in the big pile.
Yeah, he's like, I was in that pile in spirit. That was
great. That helps engagement and helps, especially, I think especially props need that. There needs to be a connection to props. Otherwise, all you see is the big goofballs who do stupid shit on the field, and you don't really think about what's going on behind it.
Yeah, definitely. And
fan engagement with fantasy would be better too.
Obviously now what's his face is part of a podcast. Genge, that's the one. So I know the words here. He is a character, an interesting character. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, if you need to dive into some interest with some of these guys, definitely the guys like that are definitely the ones that need to help the sport along as well.
Right.
Be the ambassadors.
Exactly.
As always.
Speaking of which, no, we're not getting there.
not going there yet. Black Lives Matter, as always. It was related. It was on Christmas here in the U.S. There was a suicide bomber that went off, but people were really reluctant to call it what it was because the dude was white. I was like, he was also a subscriber of QAnon theories. I was like, okay, so he was batshit crazy too.
So domestic right-wing terrorism.
I mean,
can say it. It's not just but no, he's a loner, a lone wolf.
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
He might have been a lone wolf, but it was a suicide bomb. He put a few people in the hospital. He leveled the city block and probably put some businesses out of business for a little while, if not permanently. And that's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, call it what it is.
So, right. And that definitely relates to Black Lives Matter, because a lot of shit gets dumped on people who aren't white. So
yeah,
yeah,
if you'd been black or brown, they would have totally called it a suicide bomber.
Right.
You know,
right. We're not going to be French referees and just call it on one side. We're gonna call it right down the middle. No.
The field is not tilted.
Yeah,
it's not how it works, man. It's not how it works. It currently is tilted. Let's put it back to level, shall we?
It looked fine to me. No, it's not fine.
Yeah, all right, Garces. Pod 100 is coming up. We're gonna have some fun. We have some questions to answer on it, which should spark some conversation. And if we can manage to broadcast this sucker, then maybe that'll spark some questions on YouTube, which will be kind of fun. So we'll do our best with that one. No promises though. At the very least, the recording is going to be up, and you'll be able to have a laugh at our stupidity later on. And you'll probably hear from the boss on this side here.
Oh my.
Yeah. Cross your fingers. Or wait, nope, that's not what you want to do. Never mind. Okay. To the news cycle. Wasn't a super noisy week, but Rugby Argentina has reversed, or not reversed, but they've completed their investigation into Matera and co. They're going to hold off reinstating his captaincy until he does some training. And really, I don't care what kind of training he does. You can't be okay with the stuff that Matera and the other two guys were laying down as an organization like this. People still don't respect you for reasons like this.
Yeah, it matters.
Yeah, it does.
Captaincy matters. Just because he's a good player, like there's plenty of players who on that team. Nicolas Sanchez, he's the one who's like, as much as Matera was the heart of that team that beat New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Sanchez scored every single point. So like there's there's other players who can have that captaincy and would deserve it just as much.
Right.
So I think that might be the I would choose that course of action where there would be a multi-year plan to get Matera back on. He's still young. There's no reason to shut him out from it forever. But let someone else have a shift.
Yeah. And so they're not giving it to him right away, and he has to complete this course action. And they still haven't said he's definitely getting it back to their credit. They haven't come out with that. But still,
you make those that whatever corrective action pretty simple. Although maybe it's going to be heavy-handed, which it should be. But
yeah,
it generally,
but yeah. It was to start with. It actually was.
Right.
Then they pulled it back so freaking quick. You couldn't.
It's like, well, then you didn't really do it.
Whoa! When did this happen?
Yeah, you didn't even have time to let it actually take effect before.
No shit.
No, wait, never mind. Not doing it.
Yeah, rethink. No rethink. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Rugby Argentina's got a few things to fix.
Yeah.
Maybe I know Pichot it really wants to be involved with World Rugby, but maybe he needs to go back and have a little help give his country a little help, because there's a problem. I'm sure he would be right on the ball to take care of it, because he's seen it all. So, and I definitely would have voted for him over Bill Belmont. Not that Bill Belmont hasn't started to turn certain wheels that needed turning, but I think Pichot would have been a little bit better. But that's just me. It's it's a conversation that comes up for the Premiership almost yearly, if not semi-annually. Ring fencing, and and I wasn't necessarily in favor of it pre-COVID.
Yeah,
but right now I think having a club, you're gonna have a club that drops in May, right? As of right now,
right?
And their finances are already fucking tits up. Sorry for using that phrase, but yeah, they're already friggin' backwards. So to send somebody down to the championship with the clubs going the way they are, and after probably competing in the Prem as hard as possible, and probably putting in some cash to compete in the Prem up until the point they get relegated, whatever team it is. Ew.
It's almost fortunate that the Saracens were relegated
They
So
were
you didn't have to
preparing
worry
for
about
it
it.
long before.
Yeah. You
So
didn't have to worry about a club really that wasn't prepared for it. And when maybe, you know, if it was a team that was on shaky ground, like I don't know exactly how the London Irish seem pretty good. They just opened a new stadium and all that.
Brentford,
They would probably be okay. I don't know where Leicester are financially.
Well, Welford Road just got a new sponsor that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue.
Well, yeah. So who knows, right?
Yeah.
It's just the Saracens though will survive. But ring fencing, I'm not opposed to the idea anymore, as you said. I like but I like the idea of relegation. I think that it should still be in play, but it should be something like the club coming up has to have a certain amount of financial and on-field success and can challenge any number of like there has to be like an actual challenge match. You have to prove, you know, show you're better and you belong in the Prem coming up, not just you know, because there's 13 Prem teams really, and maybe 14 if you can bring up what Pirates or
maybe Ealing. Yeah, that dude's dumped a shit ton of money into that club.
Yeah, probably Ealing instead, and just say here's your 14 Prem teams, and we're going to deal with that.
Yeah, I think dealing with that for a couple years is probably the best action, just to stabilize everything. And I'm not saying that, you know, I think you can, in a way, you can almost help the RFU by telling them these are the clubs that you need to help stabilize. The Prem clubs are fine. These are the championship clubs. You have to help stabilize these guys.
Right.
You can't let them go belly up, you know, because look what happened. I mean, everybody, London Welsh wasn't that long ago. That wasn't there. I think disaster's a very terrible word to use in this situation, because disasters are things that usually lose lives, but that was just a shambles of a season. They got one effing point, and I think it was a losing bonus point that season, and that was it. They were atrocious, and the state of the club was just as bad. So yeah, they don't want that, you know, and nobody wants that again. Nobody wanted London Welsh to do that, but they weren't paying attention, and this is the stuff that happens. So you know, that's how it goes. So yeah, well, I think for a couple of years, stabilize everything, get RFU to help as best they can with the championship clubs, and not, you know, not be pissing the money elsewhere. Trust me, there's some money that's probably going places it doesn't need to go. So that would be probably the best answer possible, and then readdress it in a couple of years. That'd be the idea, I think, at this point. And kind of shocking news. I know this is not necessarily our usual territory, but Jake Ball is just
gone.
Out. He's gone. He's leaving.
Bye.
He's going back to Australia. So he had a fourth child on the way, and his wife is back there now because he was originally from Australia. And she's back there now, and that's where all their family is. And he was, you know, he wants to keep playing, but at the same time, like, to ask her to come back and to ask the family to come back, having been around the family for a while now because of COVID, and you know, Australia's doing a lot better than Wales is at the moment in terms of the whole pandemic situation. So, and
they're not going through Brexit down there.
No, there's also that part. So, you know, here's the problem. Just as purely as a rugby point of view, Jake Ball, you do what you do. You're taking care of your family. All the best, dude. Go get him. It was fun to watch you try and eat Faf de Klerk. That was the fun.
That was nice.
What was the meme when you finally get a hold of your little brother?
Yeah.
I was like, I see that. But here's the problem that Wales is about to have, and they probably have an answer somewhere in the ranks, but I don't know what the answer is for them. Alan Wynne-Jones is probably done at the end of this season. I don't think he's even going back to Ospreys next season. After this season, I think he's going to shoot for the Lions, and if he doesn't get there, he's done.
Yeah.
And then Jake Ball now leaving. That was two of their best locks right there. So that's tough.
Rollins isn't half bad, but I'm not sure at the international level. He's not those guys. He's not Ball.
No, he's
Alan
not.
Wynn.
Either he could be, and he can, and I think he will be.
Yeah,
He's an excellent player. He's very young.
he's. I think didn't he like 28 though? 20.
Is
Well,
he?
I thought he was. I don't think
Maybe.
he's that young.
Okay. Well, in that case, he's got a little
I
bit of growing to
don't.
do
But
real
fuck,
quick here.
don't listen to me. Like, don't take my word for it like that. Let me see if I can find him.
But anyway, Hill is there, and that'll probably be kind of the incumbent there. And after that, I'm all out. I don't know who they can lean on, really.
Yeah, it's a big loss for them. In so many different ways. Hey, he's 29, Rollins.
Oh shit. Okay, so
yeah,
he's not that young. Okay.
No,
that's
he's not someone to groom for the future. He's the this is what you got.
That's a band-aid then. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not a bad band-aid, but
no. He'll do. But hey, maybe this is Wales' opportunity to move away from, being from that slower pace, smash it up to the type where they do the thing where they take the ball and they put it somewhere else,
not just in the middle of the field,
propelling it through the air. They move the ball essentially. It's a crazy idea that actually worked really well for them back when they were the number one ranked team in the world.
Right.
They kind of haven't done that since. So
no, and I'm sure Wayne Pivac's going to have a hell of a think after this Six Nations. The time between Autumn Nations and Six Nations is not as long as you'd think.
No.
So to rejig right now is probably not the best idea. Post Lions, there'll be a lot to think about, no doubt.
Yeah, at least they have time to work towards the next World Cup.
Oh yeah. And again, I'm in favor of anybody that's a new coach to their role in a World Cup cycle. Firing them after a year and a half is kind of ridiculous. If you get to year 2.5 and shit's kind of still going sideways, all right, reconsider. You still have a little bit of time to get a jolt into your team and so on. But yeah, so I still subscribe to that. So give Pivac time. I'm sure he's going to be fine. As long as he doesn't keep doing Warren ball, it'll be all right. Hey, let's go to Premiership action. My goodness.
Yeah.
We actually had games, right? We had
some. We had 2/3 of the games.
Oh man, the shit, man.
Yeah.
The shit already. Like people talk about, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't fucking want to do this either.
Right.
Like when people are like, I don't want to do mass. I don't want to do. I don't either. Like I do it because we need to. I don't do it because I fucking enjoy it. Like what the hell is wrong with
you? It's not like I'm super happy about all this shit. It's like the fact that this is what you have to do to get through it. So yeah, people got to be smarter.
No. So yeah,
like, it's not done yet.
But shit, like fuck. Anyway, we did have some rugby, and we had some pretty entertaining rugby. Should we fast forward to like halftime or shortly after halftime of this Quins Bears match and talk about?
Oh yeah, well, let's forward to halftime because that first half, was not good until the very end.
No, it wasn't.
And it was a lot of like the kind of rugby we've been talking. It was a little bit of a little Scotland kind of rugby that Bristol were playing. And reportedly, Pat Lam goes into the locker room and says, fellas, we're the Bristol Bears. We play a certain way. If you don't want to play Bristol Bears rugby, the bus is right outside.
Yeah.
Feel free to get on it.
He had no problem telling people where to go.
We are going to play with players who want to play our way.
And
as a good captain does, and even though he'd already done it a little bit, he stepped up. Stephen Luatua stepped up.
Yeah.
And
my goodness, he and Dan Thomas together.
We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, and they did. And once they opened that up, it was great. I mean, unfortunately, Max Malins had to leave the match early, but how much of a pain in the ass is Owen Lloyd to tackle? He is, you look at him and he's not the biggest guy out there, and that doesn't necessarily mean shit. But you get a little worried about seeing him out there playing fullback, but he just knows how to make things miss. Like he just dodges it just enough. So even if you get a good chunk of him, he still isn't going to go down too easily.
No, he's smart, and that's what I like to see is that the players are getting smarter. That they're like, and I try to coach this a little bit. I starting with this is like when you go into contact, nobody's in control really. When you take contact, you never know what can happen. If somebody hits you just right, all of a sudden something can happen that you don't you're not expecting, and now you're down and your team's in a bad way. Not that you're hurt, you're on the deck instead of breaking through or doing something good. And so it's like, no, if you just run a line where it's like, yeah, they'll maybe take a little bit of contact and just veer off and absorb it or prepare for it and anticipate it in your line, so you can stay in bounds and in play and stuff like that. Like shit like that's Lloyd gets it already. So
yes, he does.
And players don't get it that young. Usually not until usually players with his talent don't understand that until they start losing their speed and then realize, oh, I have to be smart.
I can't be this dumb. I need to do something else besides this.
And so that's really what separates him from others is that he's just smart. He doesn't put himself in a bad spot.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
As much as we can talk all day about the beauty of that Bristol Bears second half, especially. I have to scratch my head a little bit with Gustard. There seems to be a discipline problem, number one, and in a vacuum, Ross Chisholm or Tyrone Green.
Look, I haven't seen Tyrone Green much, to be perfectly honest. Tyrone Green. I've seen enough of Ross Chisholm.
Yeah, I've seen way too much of Ross Chisholm for my liking.
And you have so many options, even without him, even without Tyrone Green, you've got plenty of options there. Marchand's barely played. Like I get he's getting weeks off, but like even the weeks he's getting on, he's playing like 20 minutes. Even when he was with England, so it's like he's not playing 80 minutes. So
yeah,
I'm just not understanding what's happening with some of his decisions and like. And then how Marcus Smith is doing the things he's doing with fucking nobody around.
With nothing. Yeah, he's got no help.
No.
I mean, and the other thing was like, and you saw it, and he got really annoyed, and you could see how annoyed he was. Like pulling Alex Dombrand, like, what are you doing? He was your best player on the pitch.
He wasn't doing much though.
But he was better than anything else that they had out there. Are you kidding me? Like Marcus Smith and him were the two best things that happened that game. Well, I will say Louis Lina actually played quite well.
He did play really well.
Didn't play too badly for a guy that just got thrown into the fire.
Yeah.
But you could like Don Brandt was going to eat the camera. He was about to just fucking wreck the guy holding that camera because he's like, "Excuse me, can you please go away?" And I get that. I'd be annoyed too. Like if you need the close up shot of Don Brandt, like take 5 steps,
zoom in,
and use zoom. Come on,
zoom.
That's really basic. Like but other than they gotta get these guys some help because Care's good, that's fine. Brownie can be solid and kind of guide it, but there's too many holes in this team right now that I see.
They just don't have the depth at all.
It's a problem for them. And that defense that Gustard is famous for is only going to go so far. It did him all right first half because Bristol went into a shell, but once Bristol busted out of that shell, all bets were off and later.
Right.
So it's a problem. Gustard's got a lot to solve.
Yeah, because I mean, you look on the other side. You look on the other side of the field, and as you said, Max Malins went down early, and Niadalokin comes in and tears it up.
Yep, did quite well.
And it's like that's depth right there. That's a technical term. People in the biz know, and it generally means that you have players who can fill in who are actually decent. Correct. And it doesn't seem like Quinn's do. Sometimes not even at the top spots, which although right now that everyone outside of Marcus Smith is either a backup or like a rotational player. So like all their back three are rotationals, and you can't tell me that their 12-13 wouldn't be Paul Asike and Marchant if they had their druthers. And there's somebody else at 13 that they suspended, Esterhazen too. So they have guys who could do it, but I don't know where they are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they've been dinged up, but in that particular position. But man, Gustard's got a lot to think about going into 2021 here, especially if he wants to get back to the semifinal, which is what I'll always talk about. So he's gonna have to do a lot better. Well, Gloucester found a way to make Exeter play like poop. I don't know how exactly they did it, but they did it, and this is probably off the back of that nice little win that they had against Ulster.
Yeah,
And
Gloucester
I think
are
they're starting to
figuring
figure
things
it out.
out.
Yeah, I think they are, and and we see it with Wasps as well. The injection of youth seems to be something that's helped them quite a bit. Chapman, Evans isn't very old, but Moyle has done quite well. Jordy Reed's done quite well.
Yeah, Jordy Reed.
Jordy. I don't know why the hell. Even the kid that made his debut, Werner, got two over the line because he ran a good old scrum half line. Those are good.
Yeah, they
last
are.
I checked.
And Nagel Taylor.
Yeah, the kid just got himself a contract. Hell yeah, man.
Well, and Ackerman, I think he got himself a starting job because Ackerman was shitting the bed, and he got pulled at halftime.
He's I don't know if not having dad as part of the club is kind of getting to his head, but man, he's been a shell of his form of himself since lockdown.
Yeah,
so it's a problem.
But Valra Pavaroskin too on the other side has been
big fella,
a terror. It was fun to see Gloucester props on the loose. Pavaroskin breaking through in the first half.
Ford Robinson
in the second. I wanted Jamal to score.
Somebody lose a hippo.
Yeah.
It's on the field over here at Sandy Park.
Yeah, they're talking about how many teams he's played for, which is amazing for first off that he bounced around that much for as talented a player as he is.
Right.
But I think I hope he's found a home here because
he seems to be happy.
He seems to be pretty happy and it's working out well. But yeah, a team like that though, you look at Chapman and Evans. So let's say 6 weeks ago, you and I are talking and we're saying, you know what, it's Gloucester. They're going to be starting Chapman and Evans as their 9 and 10.
Not sure I would have freaking paid money for that one.
Yeah. It'd be like, oh no, don't want. But sure now it's they're. Can we talk also? Because I want to mention it. It's a little thing. Lloyd Evans, the kick pass to Jack Singleton out on the wing early.
Good hands from Singles.
They don't practice that. I can tell you, I can promise you, they do not practice that.
No,
that's Lloyd Evans knowing his player out there who and just waiting perfectly for him. Yep, and trusting each other, and that's really as much as people bag on Cipriani, that's Ciprianian to say, I'm going to trust you over there to make a play. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. And Evans obviously learned from him enough to try it.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And then, on the other side, plenty of good stuff from Exeter. Obviously they found a way. They got out of their own damn way and got over the line.
They scored on their own yellow card. So
yeah, I think that was kind of the wake up call. Like, you've been hit over the head with a frying pan. Are you ready to play rugby yet? And they finally did. We talk about guys that probably we bagged on them a little bit. I still don't get Ian Whitten. I really don't.
No,
like Ollie Devoto, fine. He's solid. He doesn't do anything super flashy.
He runs good lines. Yeah.
He does a good job of supporting Joe Simmons and making sure that Joe Simmons has space. And then he doesn't actually miss very many tackles, believe it or not, even though he doesn't look like he's much of a house. He doesn't. Ian Whitten, like big body, but just not useful, just not useful at all. And I don't see what's different between him and Tom Hendrickson. And I know Slade was hurt and banged up, so whatever. But I don't see the difference between the two of them, or what makes him so much better. Like, you want to talk about experience? Do you see the players you have around this pitch? You do not need experience.
No,
you do not need that. You've got it. Woodburn is not young and he's quite good. I mean, obviously Hogg ended up coming off, but he's Scotland's captain, for God's sake. I don't get it. I'm completely at a loss for why you wouldn't play Tom Hendrickson over.
I don't get it.
He's so much better. But anyway, that's that. The Simmons brothers did the Simmons things, and that's what they do.
Simmons has a shit game, but he also got over twice.
Yeah, so he still what knows how to find the line. What are you gonna do about it?
Simmons. What are you gonna do? That's why he's my 8 of the year, or our 8s of the year.
Yeah, Gray and Skinner, the two Scotland locks, just no problem. I guess
Skinner needs to play more.
I like him. I mean, it's tough to, it's really tough to get him and Hill in the same team.
You know what? It's not, because it's easy to say, hey, Dave Ewers, you don't do anything.
You want to talk about a guy that looks like he's got a piano on his back or he's got
Yeah.
something on? That dude is a hunchback.
Because Skinner can play it at 6.
He could, yeah.
I mean,
he has before.
He has before, and Ewers is a lock. He should be, and not
Built
a
like
6
one,
at all.
for sure.
So if you really wanted to, yeah, you could get all 3 of them on the field.
Yeah, I think
hell, Kirsten's a lock.
Yeah, I think in an ideal world, you could have probably Skinner at 6, and when he's healthy, Vermeulen at 7. And that'll be
Vermeulen,
2 of those guys,
or
right there.
Or Armand at 7.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little bit big, but
game.
Right.
Yeah, beats the shit out of me. But Exeter get the job done. They get the bonus point as Exeter does, and that's all she wrote. Battle at the bottom, which is really weird to think about. And Boyd's talked about it's just a dreadful 2020 for Northampton. It really is.
It is.
Going out with a high at the very least.
They needed it, and was Lewis Ludlam happy at the end of that match?
Yeah, he's like, "Thank you, God."
Right.
That dude needed that win.
Yeah,
he's quite good.
Yeah, and just like I was saying about Worcester, they kept getting through the line and then dropping the ball,
and they didn't know what to do. Like, what is this white line over here that we're supposed? Right. You're supposed to get over it and put the ball down.
Right.
Promise. That's what you do. I guarantee you that's what you do.
And there's ways around it that coaches have if you wanted to really help your players with it. And the fact that they're not is frustrating to me as a coach, to be like, why aren't they fixing if you're one step away from being, I mean, Worcester really are one step away from being a championship team, and it's scary that's the truth. Because of how bad they are.
Right. And they have some great pieces. We talked about them.
Yeah.
Like, I look at this back 3 and I really like it.
I do too. And I like their centers. I like everything about them. Even Searle as a 10, filling in as a 10, played
quite well.
Really well.
Yeah.
So they have good players, but damn, if they just literally shit themselves as soon as they cross the 22.
Just gotta stop doing that.
Leaving a trail of poop. It's from all the way from the 22 to the spot of the turnover.
Right. Or wherever the fraction was. Oh God. Yeah, not good. No.
And Northampton weren't that much better. Yeah. They just gave themselves more opportunities.
Yeah, and they kind of bided their time. They probably let a couple slip by. Yeah. Alex Mitchell, any idea where he might have learned how to run that scrum half line?
They used to have a guy, Mumbly Joe, Tobis Reineck.
that guy. Yeah, I'm sure he gave him a few pointers on that one. That was a really good line. Obviously got himself over the line, but he's so much more dynamic. And we talk about how much we liked Henry Taylor, when he left Saracens. Alex Mitchell is the best 9 on this team without doubt at this point. Yeah. He when both are on their game, it's Alex Mitchell. It's got to be. And I'm not saying that Henry Taylor's bad by any means whatsoever. He's a quality 9, and he is somebody that would be started on a lot of teams.
Right. It's like a Bristol situation with Randall and Urin. Randall is far away better if he's on his game than Urin would ever be when he's on his. And no disrespect to Urin, it's just Randall's that much better. Same thing here. Mitchell is just outstrips him if he has it together. Yeah. It's just like, you got to get it together, kid, more often.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And then man of the match, Dan Bigger, just looking really good. And this is what this team needs. He needs to be willing to say, all right, get on my back. I can carry us to a few wins because I have that ability, and he does.
Yeah, he does.
So he needs to continue to do that. The forwards will take care of their jobs. Nick Asikwe causing trouble, as we talked about before.
He did.
Yeah, that's what he does. They're 2 locks that usually play Ribbons and Asikwe are awesome. That is a great lock pairing that most people would kill for.
They would, yes.
So, they have the forward pack. Ludlam is leading the charge in the back row there. They have some guys. They just need to
Harrison back is extremely helpful too.
Yeah, and it's not because he's necessarily that great of a player, but he is a huge part of their leadership. He's not their captain anymore, but but people still turn to him and they still look to him. He's got a couple England caps to his name, or at least one. And that's not nothing either. So he has some experience in there. So that's a big
Yeah,
part of it.
and he didn't fuck up like Aidendorf. Like every time,
Yeah. God, that
when
guy's not
Harrison
good.
touches the ball, you can be pretty comfortable that something good's going to happen with nothing bad on the back end of it.
Yeah,
Unlike
you
certain other
can.
eights that
You're
Northampton have
you're
been
not
playing.
thinking, all right, what 50-50 issue is about to happen right here? Something really
Right.
good or something really bad? You know, it's going to be something that's
All
not
right.
bad at the very
Right.
least.
The needle's going to be on the positive end. It's
Yeah.
at the end of this.
Yeah. So advantage Alex on
Yeah.
this one over Ethan.
Yep.
And we'll see if we can get Waller versus Wall round 2 on the back
Mhm.
end of the season at 6 ways. But Saints take this one. And then to the Sunday game. Sale Wasp pick up a really big win.
Yes.
That was
Needed it.
yeah. What's up?
They needed it.
Yeah, they did. They really did. This was the and this is what Sale does to teams,
Mhm.
and they just get teams out of their game. They really do a good job of it. They find a way to, their defense just suffocates the shit out of you, and you don't have space.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, it's almost like they were saying it in the first, and I have a serious bone to pick with the same idea, is that Wasps were so flat because they were expecting the first phase to get to a certain the first the forward crash across the field, the first forward attack to get positive meters, and then they'd attack off the back of that. And a lot of these coaches, it's the same idea of you have to have go forward ball to have quick ball, and you have to have quick ball if you want to go wide. And it's like, that's not true. You just have to go to depth. And we saw that with that first half of Wasps just needing front football and not getting it. And it's like, if you base your attack off of something you're just not going to get,
yeah, you gotta have a plan B.
I think that's a situation that answers itself in the result. Like,
Yeah.
I want to do this, but I can't do it. Okay, well then
you need to go find something else to do then.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh God. But it's yeah, they figured it out. They got themselves, kind of sorted. Atkinson got through, which was great. The young boy knew who he was picking on. He's just like, they have fat guys here too. I'm gonna run around this one instead.
It's like the water boy. You look down the guy. No, that's my bitch.
Guy. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. So good on the kid for getting over the line. Good for him.
And hey, Bassett got through.
Oh man, he should have. Dude, where did cement shoes come from? Who impersonated Josh Bassett on that run? Like all the money in the world, Josh Bassett scores that.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So it was, when somebody says that it's like video game stuff, that's usually a good thing. In this case, it was like, in certain video games,
you ran out of the turbo.
You ran out of your boost, and you're just like, oh fuck, here they come.
shit, go. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. He ran out of his boost. No, just take your hand off the boost button and then
it'll go. He was like walking by the end.
Oh man,
just I feel like it's a bit. You have to also figure he went from end to end to end. He did not just this did not just happen. He's not unfit. This is he is a well-toned man, if I do say so myself. He's not a fat man. He's not an out of shape guy. He's got a little,
he just covered a lot of ground.
But he covered a lot of ground and pooped out 10 meters from glory.
Out at the wrong time, man. Oh man. And Will Rowland started that too. That came from their own 22, and he found the right guy in Robson, and I was like, bye. Like Robson got the ball. I thought
Robson was through.
I was like, see ya. This
and then like, oh, here comes Bassett. All right, Bassett will finish. No, Bassett won't. Like, it would have been better if Robson. He was fresh. Like, let him finish.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
And Zach Kibarigi's injury. Scary as hell.
Absolutely scary. He was standing up in the Wasp locker room.
Yeah, he was
later on. Thank God. So
because
he's okay. They're not going to play him.
They've
already said they're not going to play him this week. Well, you heard Tempo say like doesn't make for good watching. We're not going to show it. I was like, that's smart. Thank you.
And actually, I watched it today for a different reason, but I was like, you know what? Because I didn't see like nothing on any of the replays, because like they did show that replay once. And I just didn't see anything in it that like I at that time I think I didn't realize that Kibbergy was injured down. Like I thought, like I thought when he kind of just flopped there that it was one of those embarrassed like
Right.
no, I'm not here. I'm in a hole in the ground. Like
Yeah. So yeah,
nobody
hide
look at
your head.
me. I'm not here. So I thought that's all it was.
Mhm.
But no, when I saw it today, it was like, no, that was like, and it's a play that happens like 100 times a year in a league.
Mhm.
Not terribly often, but not not infrequent.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
and
it's just
so
the
it's just
leg to the head and the head to to the
yeah,
floor,
it was
and it was
just the
probably not pretty. So
yeah,
I
there
think
was smooshing of the head
I'm in
into
favor
the
of making that call when you feel like it's going to be a little cringeworthy. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
yeah, no, that was fine. That was a good call. It's just and it wasn't ugly. It was not didn't make for good viewing.
No.
Um, but it's just it was innocuous. It looked innocuous at every other angle. It was like,
Mhm.
okay, what the hell happened?
Mm,
Except for that one, it was like, oh, that's what happened. Oh,
that's what
it's
happened.
not good.
Shit.
That's bad.
Uh-huh. New guy for sale, causing problems.
Uh,
That's gonna be a problem come lineup time
it is.
for a lot of teams.
It is.
That makes for a nightmare, but
Of course,
he made a pretty good impact. I'll say that.
on the other side, there's for sale. Also, they have a new player who kind of shit the bed for them. In Weiss,
Yeah, he
who
did not play well.
he had almost as many missed tackles as he had tackles.
Ugh, that's not a
Th-
great day.
That's not good.
No. Did Doug Dale came on for him, right?
Hmm.
Played all right.
Yeah, Weiss had to come off. Like
Yeah.
I think they
Like
showed that stat, and it
you
was
are the
like,
guy going.
yeah, I think it was like the next break stoppage of
Yeah.
play. Weiss came off. I don't think that had anything to do with it as far
Mhm.
as like the stat being up on the screen, but I
Right.
think it was somebody in sales coaching staff saying, see this? This isn't good.
That's not a good thing,
Get him
guys.
off.
Gotta go. I mean, and the guy playing the other flank still does some things really well, including tackling.
Yeah.
Out of 20 opportunities, you got 19.
Damn. So good.
Doesn't miss very often. So yeah, don't run it, Tom Curry, whatever you do.
No.
And the bad thing is he'll poach it too. That's the
He
thing.
will. He'll tackle you and then he'll take the ball.
He gets the ball. Yeah. So
With a
and then
penalty.
yeah, and then
And Marlon Yard is scoring tries now?
who
When did
invited
that become
guy?
a thing? What's
Yeah,
going on here?
one of them was a gimme.
Yeah,
The
but still.
other one more or less he earned.
Oh, okay, first off, also, um, that referee pissed me off.
Yeah, you said
I
that.
didn't get to that. Like every referee decision went Sale's way. Faf kicked Atkinson in the face.
Yeah.
That had to be look. That was not natural for the referee to be like, yeah, that's a natural movement. No, he's going up. He's not. No,
that
he
had
just
to be a card.
yeah, absolutely had to be at least a yellow, but probably a red. Unbelievable with even and then just no penalty. Like, nope, everything is fine.
Yeah, no, that's not
The
correct.
Bourgeois tackle off the ball that wasn't like the guy ran into his own player. Yeah, Bourgeois was there, but he was also backing off the tackle. Like he didn't tackle him.
I don't know. I don't know what he's supposed to do, honestly.
Right.
What's the man supposed to do?
DDP had an intentional knock.
Yeah, the tackles and the knocks and the tackle. More referees are picking up on it. I hope.
Right.
We need all of them to pick up on it because there's something natural and unnatural about making a tackle, and some of these guys are definitely making some very unnatural motions to make sure the ball doesn't get away.
And it was subtle, and even the comms didn't see it. But I saw it very clearly.
I thought it was it for sure. I was like,
Well,
that's going to be a knock, isn't it?
But there was not that one, but later, right at the end of the first half, Dan Dupria came in with a swinging arm headshot in tackle, like absolutely clear. He wound up and just followed through right to the neck area, and
great.
I was like, how did neither the ref nor the TMO nor the side judge nor the TMO saw that? I'm like, that was obvious what he just did.
Guess
Nobody
not.
said anything. So yeah, there was a lot of I was a little bit annoyed by that. So I'm happy that Wasps came back in the end to take it. They deserved it.
Yep. Yeah. No. And trust me, I'm just as happy for them. That was a tough one that they needed very badly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do the starts and the sits.
Oh yeah, the week ahead. Hopefully we
man.
get all the matches this week.
I hope so. I hope so. So we got Friday. We got 2 every day this weekend, which should be nice.
That's pleasant.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday should make
Makes for easy
some
viewing.
easy watching at least.
Yeah.
And even this Friday one's a little spread out. We got first one at 10 over here, which is about lunchtime over there. No, not quite.
No,
A
a little
bit
after early afternoon.
Early
1 p.m. or
afternoon,
so.
but still nice.
Yeah.
And then one at
Oh,
about 2 o'clock or so. So I guess you and
Yeah.
I are gonna have to do some moving on. Start sitting in the morning.
Yeah, we will.
I'm sure we'll find out a lot of lineups either
All right.
Thursday morning or Friday. Thursday
It's
morning.
my last weekday of vacation, so I'll have to sort something out. I'll have
try not to get too in vacation mode. All right, so start sit.
Which one are we starting? Bristol, Newcastle. Yeah, Bristol, Newcastle.
Bristol and Newcastle. All right. So even though they didn't, so we had to make an adjustment to our points against chart here. We went with average per game now, and so it's actually made some interesting things more clear about like what they give up per the how, can you expect a decent game even if these guys are tough? No or yes.
Yeah,
at least gives you an idea. Anyway, but it also fudges some things because obviously there's more opportunity this past weekend for the teams that played to lose points or gain points, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, that said, Newcastle are a peculiar team in terms of fantasy. 4th toughest in FRD, middling to not great in TRM. So fly halves, halfbacks, and loose forwards in FRD are the difficult ones to kind of keep your eyeballs on because they could have a rough day. For the Bears. We talked about him, Owen Lloyd. If he's in play, there's rumors that Piutau could be healthy this weekend. So also keep your eyeballs.
Gotta love rumors.
Yeah, great bar.
Oh man, I miss rumors.
Yeah, me too. O'Connor, don't get scared off. He had a bad week last week. It's okay.
Yeah, it happens.
It's gonna happen. He's consistent. He'll come back. Vui could be back this week as well. If he is in that lineup, you are playing him. He is a monster, and there's a good chance he could be at 6. So depending on how things,
I don't know. With Luatua the way he played, you might want to keep him at 5. And
and funny you say that. That could be bait as well. We'll see.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, it's absolutely
kind of expensive.
Yeah, it's
kind of expensive.
I would not. No, I'm not saying to start Luatua. I'm just saying that if he plays to that form, I don't think you can take him out of that 6 jersey.
Right. Jan Thomas. Still not doing it for me a prop.
No,
the only prop that's probably worth having for Bristol is Sinclair or Afoa, and even that's kind of pricey. So so keep away from that. Ni Ayulokan, I like him as a player, but he rarely starts. So having him rostered in either format is a little bit risky. If he starts, he's definitely worth the grab in FRD. I don't know if I pick for him in TRM, even though he's probably pretty cheap, but just meh. On the other side, Bristol are still top 4 overall in both formats, so tough sledding in front. Front row outfits in either format are actually top. They're actually top 2 against that. Hookers be double aware. They are causing problems at the line apparently. For the Falcons, McGuigan's probably still worth the roll if you have him. He's probably at least worth getting on your bench, but he might be worth the start too. He finds ways to get points elsewise too. That's the good thing about George McGuigan. Ben Stevenson, especially in FRD, he was a mid playing on outside back. He knows what the try line is. He knows how to cover meters very quickly, so I would give him a look. And Greg Peterson's played very well as a lock, especially in TRM. He's not super expensive. He usually plays the full 80. And he's definitely one of their big target guys at lineout time. So just keep him in mind. And might be a little biased on my part because he's an Eagle, but I don't care. On the other side, Brett Carnan is on a downward trend fantasy wise, especially in TRM. If he's your 10 in FRD, all right, you're probably stuck with him. I don't love it, but
no, but okay. You probably have someone else, or someone
hopefully you have someone else.
Right.
Again, Mickey Young, same thing. Played fairly well as a player, but as a fantasy asset, God, if he's your halfback in FRD, close your eyes and hope. And Lago Mullapola is back to being the old Lago Mullapola.
Yeah,
and that's
no,
not
that was
good thing.
that was a dream.
That was a blip. So bench good old Lago and be happy that you've avoided that giant paperweight.
I think I cut him finally this week. Yeah, it wasn't that hard. On to the next match of Worcester versus Harlequins. Quins are giving up points to locks, loose forwards, and fullbacks in TRM. They're middle of the pack to scrum half, fly half, and midfielder. Kind of still makes them options. Worcester are shutting down loose forwards. Interesting. But they're giving up points to scrum halves. But fly halves in TRM, they're giving a lot of points, but they're the best against fly halves in FRD, or at least they were.
Wow, that's crazy.
Pre whatever.
These things work out, eh?
Yeah. Let me see if that's still the same. No, they're not anymore. They're still they're down a little bit, but not too far. But anyway, Worcester shutting down loose forwards, giving up centers and wings. They're also giving up points to. So for Worcester, Hugard and Weir, yeah, go with them. Start Worcester's entire back line because they'll get a lot of running meters.
Okay.
Worcester get your points, especially in FRD where it's more valuable.
Meters are definitely valued.
TRM. For Quins, Marcus Smith, easy. I'd have an eye, honestly, to look to replace Dombrett and Kerr in your lineups this week.
Yeah, maybe.
They're both struggling, and it's not just in the Premiership. They both were struggling starting in the Champions Cup the last 2 weeks. So those two have had 3 weeks of in a row.
Not great, yeah.
And Worcester are kind of shutting those except for scrum halves. But Worcester are shutting down loose forwards, so Dombrett might not have a good matchup there.
There you go.
But look to the centers and outside backs of Quins, especially if they're rolling heavy with a good lineup. To fill out your lineups, especially in FRD, because they'll have favorable matchups.
All right. Let's go to because I gave the order wrong, but that's all right. We'll go to Gloucester and Sale on Saturday. Okay, another tough matchup for the Cherry and Whites. Whoopsie for fantasy wise at least. Sale are second and third in FRD and TRM in that order. Wings are especially a problem in both formats. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like Gloucester rely on their wings to shit.
Oops. So for the guys at King's Home, Gloucester, Seb Nagel-Taylor, if he's playing, I grab him. Definitely.
I think he just won the H jersey.
Yeah,
he's
done quite well.
And then Ackerman being pulled at half. You don't generally pull someone at half.
Unless they're playing like shit or they're hurt.
And especially not for a 18-year-old.
He's a baby.
Yeah.
So yeah. If he's in, play him. I think the folks at King's Home would like you to speak a little louder about Ed Slater. Just keep throwing it out there and don't stop because he is playing out of his brain.
He could be playing better. He's doing okay.
He's done quite well.
I've seen him do better. Yeah,
and he'll be all right here. So go ahead and roll Ed Slater out there. Rapava Ruskin is back. He was not great last year. He is way better this year. I don't know if he was banged up last year or what, or carrying an injury, but he is back and he is here with authority.
I think
not to be screwed with.
Maybe Duncan Weir makes him feel more comfortable with his hair.
Maybe
that's what it was. Maybe it was I just feel weird with this fro.
Yeah,
kid's the only one.
Dude's got it back, so he's here again. LRZ, he was my sit of the week last week and lived up to it, unfortunately. And this is just not going to be another good week for him. I love the kid, but this is just the wrong week. I'm sorry. Nope. Balmain is the wrong prop to start in this match. I know props generally don't do well against Sale, but I have no problem with Rapava Ruskin. Balmain is probably the guy to stay away from. And Jack Singleton, again, another hooker that's probably going to have a tough day. JP Dupria is a problem for hookers. So that's probably my one concern now. He showed last match that you need other things to do, and singles can, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it another match because he kind of defied the odds against Exeter. So we'll see. There's enough quality hookers out there that you can probably find another one. So that would be my concern with it. On the other side, Cherry and Whites are middle of the pack fantasy matchup, though slightly better in TRM. Going up the middle against them is extremely tough, and with Harris back, it's now tougher. So good luck. So for the Sharks, JP Dupree, go get him now. He's probably not expensive, and I think he's going to be a staple in this lineup. Honestly, I don't know how they remove him. I think when all the Duprees are healthy, it's going to be him and the other Jay Dupree in the middle there.
Likely.
Blocking. So yeah, get him. He's going to steal lineups, and lineup steals are a big thing in FRD actually. So don't
They
forget
are.
that.
Yeah, they're helpful.
And the issues that he caused, probably worth it.
Right.
Akar should be better this week. He was not good last week at all.
No, not at
should
all.
be much better this week. And then Kobus Vs, I think, will be better. One more week, give it, and then if he takes a poop, then dump him. But
yeah, I'm gonna try to get rid of him this week if I can.
Yeah. On the other side, we talked about bait, Marlon Yard. Yeah,
bait.
I think that's bait. So just if you have him in your FRD team, all right, whatever. Can't stop you there. Don't add him to your TRM team.
Right.
It's a one-shot wonder. Rob Dupree, if AJ McGinty's on the pitch, and he's probably going to be because he's the better of the two tens. No matter where Dupree is deployed, he's not worth it.
He's not worth it at all.
Curry is usually better in TRM, although he was fairly
he had a good FRD game
in FRD this week. So just keep your eyes peeled on that. Don't be trusting too much on that one. I will say that.
Yeah, he carried a lot, so that's the difference.
That's probably what helped him on that score.
Speaking of tough defenses, Wasps versus Exeter. So we know about Exeter's defense. Wasps, not quite the same level. Not bad, but just not the same level. Fantasy wise, at least. We're in real life. So Exeter players are the ones that have the ones that you're used to scoring are going to score. And on Wasps, really the ones you're used to scoring are the only ones who might be worth looking at all. So on the Exeter end, their front row, their locks, because both of those groups are going to score a try from one of them. So likely, at least one. So Sam Simmons, because he's going to score at least one try himself. Joe Simmons, because he's going to be kicking a lot, at least, if not running, and setting up his brother, and Tom O'Flaherty. There's the staples of your Exeter attack and your fantasy teams. Run them out this week because they'll do well. On the other end, Exeter are stingy, but again, the points you're still going to get the points from the team from the position groups that get your points. So Wasps, the front row. Yeah, they're not going to especially in FRD, they're not going to produce without Alfie Barbary in the
looks
jersey.
Something to the effect of a high ankle sprain for Alfie, so he's going to be out for a little while.
Out for a couple of weeks. But still, that they're showing like they can get through. Tom Taylor almost had himself a try. He had a little bit better, a little bit friendlier pass to him. I'm going to blame it on the pass, not on his dick hands. And then,
hands.
the locks will score. Jack Willis will score. I'm guessing with Kibarigi shelved, Odogwu will push out back out to the wing.
Good, yes.
And he's still a fucking terror. So I think he's actually more dangerous out on the wing. And I think against the Exeter wings, he will have a significant advantage there. Okay. So even though Exeter are stingy to the outside backs, specifically to wings, I think I think Odogwu could bounce through that. Literally.
Okay. So Sunday, we'll do Leicester and Bath. Neither team played last week, so we'll see what they roll out this week. I'm going to take my wildest stab at it. Both are fit. Bath are fantasy points sieve right now, like besides Northampton, leaking points all over the pitch. Back three players go absolutely bananas against them. Eights as well, and especially in TRM. So for the Tigers, Nemani Ndolo is back, likely, and this is just a lick your chops matchup for him to roll into. So, go ahead. Genge, if you have him in TRM, you've paid for him. You're playing him. And bottom line. And even if Bath are good against props, which they are, he does pretty well in the loose. So
there's some guys
really
where
where his value comes.
Yeah, they're matchup proof.
Absolutely. And I think he may well be one of them, the baby I know. I freaking hate this guy, but he's a fantasy points machine. George Ford. You're gonna play him. He annoys the holy ever loving shit out of me, but he is a fantasy points dude. This is the team to definitely play him against. So go ahead, play him. Oh, on the other side, Tigers are a rather odd one. Fantasy in terms of fantasy defense, tough in FRD, like top 2, I think, top 3, but extremely leaky in TRM, like their bottom 3. Beats the shit out of me. Don't know. Tough on fly halves in both formats though. So you're still playing Priest, so don't worry about that. Assuming he's fit, he is one of those guys that's definitely gonna always find it because his value comes from the tee quite often, and he doesn't miss very often. So that's a big old double thumbs up. Speaking of double thumbs up, Elliot Stuke is definitely a double thumbs up if he plays. So give him a roll out there. He's continuing to find value with this. I mean, really, if I actually like the Bath locks that they've been using between.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not just him, but it's all of them.
Yeah. They've done quite well. So, but if it's him especially, I really like Elliot Stuke. So give him a go. Another one that's a guy that's kind of teetering on it. Like I got one more week, otherwise I'm gonna need to start seeking options. And it's a guy I love, Ben Spencer. I got to see it soon. Otherwise you just got to start seeking other options. And he has it. You just got to see it though, And I'm getting really worried.
He hasn't gone for a run in a while.
No, he hasn't.
Even in the Champions Cup, he didn't do it. So
no, it was pretty disappointing. For the other side of the pine, Coca, bye. Gotta see it. He's one I gotta see it now. Like, yes, he's supremely talented and an extremely gifted winger. I gotta see it before I start playing him in fantasy. The story. I'm unsure where Sam Underhill's value comes from right now, so I just don't know if he's worth the roll of the dice. He's again another guy that's really talented. I don't know where his fantasy value is going to come from right now. Maybe in TRM.
TRM there's value because he makes a shit ton of tackles.
Right, and that's probably what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah. FRD not so much because he doesn't run, but there's that but. He did run a lot in the Champions Cup.
He did. So
which was really his first run with Bath this year. So he'd been away with England. So that was his first real action. So if that's how they're going to deploy him, if that's how he has to be now, his FRD value just shot through the roof.
Yeah. So probably a wait and see on FRD, but go ahead if you have him.
But it's one of those, if you have a spare spot for him, like if you have just somebody who's a might score, or it's just it's basically anybody on your pine who you're like, yeah, maybe not. It might be worth to pick up a guy a little too early rather than too late.
Oh yeah, too early. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy that goes, damn it.
Right, like you don't want to be waiting for the waivers after this weekend.
No. Yeah, because you might be too late. And then Tom Glanville, I'm not sure where he fits in with this team. He's not been super valuable as a fantasy asset, and with the internationals returning, I'm just not 100% sure quite where he's going to be stuck. So, start seeking other options there.
For the last match of the week, London Irish versus Northampton. Saints, as we have been saying for a while now, are leaky, especially around the 9-10 channel. Irish, on the other hand, are leaky around the forwards, but and 10. They're giving up points to 10, but after the outside of that, they're actually really strong defense. So for the Irish, their front row are kind of a must start at this point. They have guys who just run with the ball in hand and or turn the ball over, and Creevy's just yummy. Ollie Hassel-Collins, Curtis Rona, Loader, maybe even Voldemort this week if you need a fill in. But I'm hoping they go with Theo Brophy Cruz instead.
Yeah, he looked all right the other week.
Which would also be a hell of an option if you need a fill in.
Yeah, no shit.
On the other side for the Saints, their front row have been producing a little bit lately. So I'd look at towards them. The locks, yes. Not so much as Ezekwe in FRD. He
No.
just doesn't get points. But like Ribbons, oh hell yeah, he gets points. He runs a lot.
He's done quite well.
Ludlam, Harrison also, and
Yeah,
Bigger,
Ludlam's
obviously.
back, thank God.
Really nothing outside of Bigger right now.
No, I mean Hutch. If
Hutch, yeah,
he needs a better. I think their best center pairing is Hutch and Proctor.
I agree. And
You know?
Proctor's been amazing too, but I'm not sure.
It's a little dicey where it's going right now.
Right, I'm not sure against this defense that they're the place to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, starts of the week. I've been rooting for this guy for a while, and I really hope he continues to grow, even at his fairly mature age. He's evolved his game to be more and more dangerous for both his club and Wales. I'm backing him to put another great performance this week against another soft defense. My start of the week for round 5 of the Prem is Saints and Wales fly half. Bigs, Dan, Bigger.
All right. And I'm going to join you in picking a start of the week from someone from your match, not from one of mine. And it's somebody you mentioned also. Although, yeah, I'll kind of a little bit in passing as I did with Bigger. But somebody who I think is just going to have a day, and because he's again been cooped up a little bit, and showed when he was cooped up. Once he got uncooped up, that he will just put down try after try after try, and as you noted, Bath are garbage against outside backs. So Nemanja Dolo is my starter.
That's a good one. Nice. Yeah, that's a really good one. Oh, okay. So the week, it's going to be a similar theme for me from last week. I believe this guy is wildly underrated and should be talked about more, although he's gotten more talk as his club's gotten better. And it's a quality team, obviously. Problem, he's going against a black hole for fantasy defense, especially in terms of the speedsters for clubs. This team just shut down 3 or 4 really good back 3 players. Sticking with the trend, like I said, my sit of the week for round 5 of the Prem is Wasp flying winger Josh Bassett.
That's good. Yeah, I agree with that. He was up for mine too. And I moved in a different direction. One that's less. I don't think he's going to score. Like he may be someone you still might want on your team, but because you may have no other option, especially with the value that he brings in general. But he's been shit lately, and shit on the fantasy board too. So it's not even, you said he was mad when he came out and you couldn't understand him coming out, but it was also the 3rd match in a row that, at least on the fantasy scoreboard, I wanted to pull him out too because he wasn't producing. And that's Alex Dombrandt,
the Dominator.
So I think he's going through some shit right now. He may not even start anyway. They may give him a week off to sort some shit out. Because he needs it a little bit. And I don't know what's going on. It's just his play has not been effective in the past couple of weeks, so he may just need a break. But he needs a break from the fantasy lineup is what he needs to.
He might need that too. Okay, Champi-Yanks League. A quick overview here. Let's go to the FRD League. Some results. Carrick is running riot on all of us right now. He just smashed Justin this week. I managed to rebound finally and pick up a win against Mark. Although actually, I think I'm 3-1, so that's actually not as bad as I thought it was. Carrick is the one team that absolutely crushed me. Anton got a good hold of you as well.
Yeah, I got whopped.
Yeah, just a little bit
thumped.
Yeah, and then Duncan did actually keep George winless in this comp. Sorry, buddy. Oops, a daisy. Yeah, and this was a tough one. There was going to be some please moments from a lot of people.
Oh, especially my team was hit pretty hard. Yeah. So I got kind of boned.
Yeah, a lot of people did, man. It's just how it was.
Yeah, I'm like, I get to start when you're starting Asi Tuwala and
oh man, that's just
and Kyle Moyle against Exeter. No,
I played Lina against Bristol and he did okay. He didn't get great, but he did okay. It's just how it goes, man. It's just what happens when you get freaking lineups and shambles.
Yeah, and it's what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Let's see. Next week or / this week. We got Ben's going against Mark. I've signed up against Duncan. George and Justin face off. Ooh, that'll be a tasty one. Hopefully, actually, I think it's they're both struggling. Actually, two guys that usually do well in FRD are just absolutely struggling. And then a clash of the Titans. Carrick and Anton go head to head. Let's see which one of them comes out on top. I'm pretty sure that they're the two top scoring teams in our league right now. I could be wrong about that. Let me double check. Let's see. 455 and 505. Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Hot damn. That Wass's front row was definitely a good pick, and we all
sat there. Let's see how that works now.
Yeah, I mean, Alfie Barbary being out is not going to be helpful, so I guess we'll see how that goes. But we'll see.
It's still a lot of points on offer there.
Right, there's still plenty there. A little bit of movement here and there in TRM Champi-Yanks League. Carrick sunk in Champi-Yanks League. He went down 3 spots. It was a rough week. I think
everybody had a rough week. I feel like except for somebody, except for George.
Fucking George, man, making up for it over here. God damn, dude, that was a hell of a week.
What did he do? Did he? Oh, he didn't even do what I thought. I thought at some point I was figuring I would just use the points to take the dead points from the players who weren't playing.
Yeah,
and I probably should have. He did not. And scored really well.
I think just for the one prop, which was Waller, I wish I had done that. Ethan Waller. Yeah, I mean, I looked at Carrick's team just to be like, holy shit, what happened? He had his front row was Waller, Acker, and the other Waller, so that's a total of 12.
Oh no!
His second row was Weiss and Kirsten. Neither one of them did well.
Oh no! Yeah.
Downbrandt, his back row was a little better. Downbrandt, Simmons, and Barbary did well before he came off.
Right.
Hugard didn't do well. He had AJ as his kicker, and then O'Connor and one of the James brothers. Yeah, Radra. Not
Lloyd O'Flaherty,
not spectacular.
It's just a bad week from good players.
Yeah, it really was.
That's terrible.
Teams that you expect, the guys that you expect to just lean on the whole time.
I mean, a lot of those guys that you mentioned there were guys on my team too. So that's.
I had a few of those as well. I had O'Connor, I had Waller. Let's see, what was the magic bullet that freaking got George? Ribbons. That's a helpful one right there.
Yeah,
and he had Sam Simmons in there.
Slater, Val. He had Papa Ruskin.
Yeah, he went with Van Vick as a spare just to be like, all right, I'm going to take the points. And
the
bench points helped too, like 14.
He did that a lot. Actually, his whole bench was, except for Marcus Smith and Hugard, were players who were just take the points on the bench.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not a bad idea. And he had Papa Ruskin. Jeez, that helps. That helps a lot. Yeah, he had Slater, Barbary, and Simmons as his back row.
I mean, a lot of his players had big games.
Yeah, Randall had a great game.
He did.
God, that kid.
I think what's going to happen is I'm going to end up dropping. Let's see, we're just talking about Spencer for Randall at this point.
Yeah, I have Alex Mitchell, so it's done all right.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. Yeah, I mean, jeez. When does? Yeah, when do you just always captain the same guy and say fuck it?
No, but I usually end up making the same decision in the end.
Right. It seems like a lot of people did, and I had people had Simmons. I had Barbary this week. I'm really. I feel like if there's Jekyll and Hyde, dude. Obviously, the guys that are going to score fairly well most weeks, but there's also the one where you're like, well, had he decided to say, go captain Harry Randall or me, Alex Mitchell, could have been a good week. And I had one week where I captained Marcus Smith because I knew he was going to tee off, and he did. So it does. It can make it less of a headache because you're like, yeah, just fuck it. I'm captaining Sam Simmons. End of story.
Yeah,
because he's always going to produce a store.
Because I mean, he's still got 2 tries, so it's not often. It's so he got overall. What was his point total? 29 points, right? So it's 10 points for a try. So 40 of his 58 points were his tries. And that means an 18-point otherwise game for Sam Simmons is tiny.
Yeah,
That's like nothing. 18 points for him is nothing. So that's like a, even without a try like that, that's there's
crazy.
like he usually will produce better than that. That he just didn't do much but fell over the line twice.
Yeah,
That's a bad game for him, but he still got over the line twice. Like
Mm-hmm.
a bad game for Dombrand, he scores 12, right?
Yeah,
So
that's the difference at
that's
this
the
point.
thing. A bad game for Sam Simmons is still a fantastic match for just about anybody else.
Just about.
So yeah, it's hard to do that because it's hard. And look, even if you captain and had kick or Marcus Smith as your kicker, in the end, that's only 14 more points.
Mm-hmm.
It's not huge, of a difference. 72 to 58.
Right.
It looks cooler, but it's 14 points. So not the end of the world.
No,
Of something like that. So yeah, I do that kind of justification when I choose my captains and also when I choose a guy who I'm going to start rather than have on the bench.
Yep, it's also true. All right, let's do the picky-ums. We have more separation. Not that it can't get reversed in a matter of especially when we come into Super Rugby, Six Nations and Prem all playing at once. That's where shit gets freaking real. That's for sure, no doubt. Bristol and Newcastle. Can the Falcons stay undefeated?
No.
Nah, yeah,
because we haven't seen the best. That was a depowered Bristol team.
Yeah.
And still
right
at the well for a half.
Yep,
a good team.
They did a pretty good job on that. Worcester and Quins, man, who gets out of their own way?
I'm going to take the host team here.
All right, I'll take.
I'm going to take Worcester because I think. Quins I think are struggling a little bit, and I don't know what they're going to do to fix it. And Worcester can get lucky. They need it
might.
in the end.
They might. Was and Exeter. Oh, sorry. And unless somebody starts walking, a few more guys start walking through that door at Was, I'm gonna go ahead and back Exeter. I'm
not ready to pick Wasps over Exeter even at home.
Yeah. Gloucester at Kingsholm hosting Sale. I feel a lot better about Gloucester now than I did probably 3 weeks ago.
I do too.
So I'm going to take the Cherry and Whites.
I do. I will too. I also feel differently about Sale than I did a couple weeks ago. And
no shit.
It's not good when you have a director of rugby who's like, I'm not really ready for this.
Yeah, and he probably isn't. Honestly, he's getting thrown into the fire for sure.
He is, but still have a plan, dude. Your first step is to have a plan, and your second step is to never admit that you're in over your head until it's proven.
Yeah. Let's just
don't. That's not. No, it's a bad way to start.
Yeah, ill-advised.
Right. At least have some faith in yourself. Yeah, I'm ready for this. It's a little, it's my timeline has been accelerated, but I'm ready for it. There you go. That's your talking point. Not I don't know. Fuck, I don't like this.
Yeah, nope, I don't either. All right. Sunday game should be interesting. London Irish hosting the Saints. 2021 means a better Saints team. I
think so.
Yeah, I'm taking
boys. They're going to take I think they got a little bit of the monkey off their back this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about, you can, it's amazing for your mentality what that can do. So I'm going to pick them.
Yep. And then two teams that didn't get to play last week, Leicester and Bath.
Really want Bath to win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you I don't, but I also think that this might be. There's a few bodies coming back for the Tigers, so I think they'll find a way to get it done. As much as that pisses me off.
To me, there's a lot of upheaval around that, so I think Bath have a little bit better continuity there.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Bath.
Take the Visitors.
I think they're a better team too.
I do too. I just, I want them to be a better team. That's for sure. But yeah. TB determined. All right. Well, whatever. You either close the gap or it stays the same, or I open it wide. I bust it wide open.
Anything could happen.
There's a few options here. Okay. This is gonna be fun. So make sure that you listen to the Festivus special when it comes out. and then it should make for some entertaining stuff at the very least.
Right.
And joy. We want some joy. We had some really bad shit last weekend. We're going into 2021. It's going to be a better year, guys. I promise. Don't hold me to it. God, we thought 2019 was shit, and then this happened.
Yeah.
So let's just pray and hope.
Well, hey,
it's so much better.
Remember when 2016 was bad just because Alan Rickman died?
Oh yeah. Like,
I mean, no, that's not.
Damn
that's not
Hans.
fair. 2016, a lot of bad things. A lot of awesome people died in 2016.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. I was like,
but
yeah, but 2016.
still,
no, you don't.
Yeah, that was bad because a lot of famous people died.
Yeah.
Like, wait, you haven't seen nothing yet.
Now it's bad because a fucking pandemic's just turned everything pear-shaped. It's like,
right.
God damn. So
yeah, only 300,000 people or so in the country. No big deal.
Something like that.
More than.
No.
Closing to 4.
We want better year. 2021. Definitely for sure. So just keep that positive vibe out there,
Right.
It doesn't have to be good vibes only, but just try and keep the positive vibe as much as possible. Oh, other than that, we'll talk to you guys in the new year.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. But we will be back next weekend with more fun, more Champi-Yanks League stuff. And thanks a lot for coming along, guys. Have a good one.
Later.
Cheers.